Hey guys, Cam for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another episode review of Dragon Ball Daima. Now, I'm not joined by my co-host, the Red Wolf, because he actually went out of town and he gave me the A-OK to review episode number 2. And again, this show I'm very excited about. I'm happy about. And so far, I've liked what we've been getting out of Dragon Ball Daima in 2 episodes, and episode 2 only makes me so much more ready to see episode 3 next week. And I can't, like this show, man. I know a lot of people when it was first announced didn't like it. My co-host included. He had his skepticisms, but I never was skeptic about this. I knew this show would be a solid show. I'm not saying it's going to be a great show, but I think it's going to be a solid show. But I think people were just too burned by GT to have this whole thing of like Goku turning back to a kid. But see, the difference where I see this from GT is the fact that everybody else is basically kid characters. So yeah. But episode 2 continues on with the story, and we pick up right from the events after we last left off from episode 1. Now we actually do see the debut of the opening and the ending, the visuals and then the songs. Obviously, the opening song has been out there for a while. I actually do like the opening song. The opening song is pretty catchy, pretty cool. And then honestly, the ending song is honestly a banger as well. And the visuals just look freaking fantastic. Fantastic. I already said, I've already said last week, about the animation of how bad poorly animated Dragon Ball Super was at the start. This stuff again is so much better than what we got opening up with Dragon Ball Super. Like, legitimately, whenever the Super anime comes back, we need this type of anime from the jump, because I cannot wait to see the Moro arc. And even though I don't like the Granola arc that much, animated the most. But anyways, so the episode picks up right where we last left off, where Goma ended up using the Dragon Balls to turn everybody into kids again. And we actually kind of get an interesting tidbit. Now the interesting tidbit is the fact that we know the Earth Dragon Balls can now grant 3 wishes. Now, shockingly enough, Goma asked to get a second wish, and basically Shenron's like, "Yeah, you're a newcomer with the Dragon Balls, so you won't be able to summon again." So we find out, which I've never known, that if you summon Shenron and you're not a casual like summoner of Shenron, you don't get the 3 wishes. You only get 1 wish, essentially. Which makes sense to why whenever the Z fighters use the dragon, the Shenron, to make wishes, they're able to use the full slate of wishes because they typically always summon Shenron. That's a thing that I didn't even know that was like absolutely like in the story, which was kind of like shocking. But then again, I just remember when you go to the Broly movie, when Sheila made the wish to send Broly back home, that was the only wish that she was able to make, and then the Dragon Balls just disappeared all over the planet again. Makes freaking sense now that you think about it, right? So only newcomers. So, like for example, Frieza used the Dragon Balls and tried to summon it in that movie. He would only get the 1 wish. He wouldn't get the 3 wishes that Shenron can do for the Z fighters or even Porunga. So, an interesting tidbit to see how the Dragon Balls work on planet Earth. But anyways, because of this, Goma's like, well then damn, I'd rather just have wished for the freaking evil eye stuff to find that location instead of wishing these people to children. Now he turns around and we see Dende and Mr. Popo. They got aged down. Dende is basically a baby, and Mr. Popo is like a little child, and we actually finally see what Mr. Popo looks like without the turban. He actually has horns, which is actually pretty crazy. So does that mean Mr. Popo is kind of like a demon himself since he got horns and everything? I know like later in the episode they basically confirm like not everybody with pointy ears comes from the demon realm. Listen, man, listen. That is something that for all intended purposes, you know, that's weird. That's it's crazy. So it makes sense. Anyways. We cut over to Goku and others. Goku and friends end up actually falling down and everything. They're all shocked of like how much younger they are. We see Goten and Trunks. They're obviously babies, but the weird thing is I think the way they portrayed it is that they were talking to each other in a weird way, kind of telepathically. Like they understood what they were saying, but they were kind of just messing around like babies typically do. And they're like, "Oh, wow, you're a baby, Goten. Yeah, Trunks, you're a baby too." So I'm guessing they can speak to each other telepathically and they can read each other's minds, which I guess shows how talented they are. But all the characters are all back to their young selves. The characters are shocked. They kind of make some Krillin jokes because Krillin's just like, he's shocked that he's short, but all the other characters like, but you are short anyway, so it doesn't really matter, which that's kind of a dig. Bulma's, honestly, Bulma's like, oh, my skin is so smooth and soft. I'm like, if you remember, if you watch Dragon Ball Superhero, you know how she was using the dragon to not only wish her skin to be a lot younger and smoother and her to have her butt get bigger, and things like that. So there you go. And you do get some funny interactions because like when Goku and Vegeta are talking with each other, like, what the heck is going on here? You have it to where freaking Mr. Satan comes and Hercule comes up and they're both like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm Mr. Satan, bro. Hercule Satan, bro. And they're like, what the hell? Okay, that's just great. And then it's funny too, because eventually Master Roshi shows up, and Goku's like, wait, who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm Master Roshi. This man is younger, and this man's already hitting on the women. He's already like going ready. He's already getting ready to go out and hit on women, bro. Also, too, the number one funny gag thing that they're all saying is this. The fact that everybody's saying like the man looks like Saitama from One Punch Man, which is absolutely funny, which he does. Master Roshi, young, like he looks like Saitama now. The shocking part is it's funny how he wasn't like the moment he's young again, he doesn't start hitting on Bulma, Chi-Chi, and 18. It's funny how he doesn't do that, but he did hit on like some of the waitresses there. So that was funny and everything. But essentially what happens is Goku's like, well, I need to find out what happened since the Dragon Balls went off and everything. So let's go ask Dende. Now, the interesting thing we see throughout this episode is because Goku's little again, he can't fly correctly. Like he doesn't understand like his control of balance of his body, because Piccolo makes a mention of it, which is actually something that GT didn't actually make wary of. In GT, he could literally fly like as if he was flying in his old body. Like that's one thing I actually appreciate. Like they actually are making the characters be like, okay, you can't exactly do things like you used to do, because we even see like Goku, he's kind of like training, I guess you can say, on the lookout tower as Bulma's fixing up the spaceship, and he's like, oh yeah, I have shorter limbs, so my depth of perception is a lot different now. And it's like he has to get used to it. While we saw with GT Goku, never had any issue with that. And it's like, okay, Toriyama's making account of, you know, like, okay, yeah, clearly Goku's limbs are not going to be long enough to where Goku's peripheral is going to think like, oh, I probably could reach, but it's probably not. So it's good that, and it's cool that you see Goku kind of testing out his body, or his new young body again, to see like, okay, what can I do and what I can't do. But I did find it funny how with the flying stuff, Piccolo was making fun of him because at some point he tries to fly again and he almost falls off the lookout tower, and Piccolo's like, please, you still don't get it. And then Goku's like, oh really, then why don't you try? And freaking Piccolo tries it, and this man freaking bumps into the damn tree on the lookout tower, which is absolutely hilarious because then he's just like, it's just a comedy. The comedy is absolutely hilarious, right? But anyways, Supreme Kai, Piccolo, and Goku and Kibito Kai all go up to Lookout Tower. They run into Mr. Popo. Mr. Popo ends up telling them like what happened, the fact that Dende got taken. And the thing we also find out is they won't be able to have access to the Dragon Balls again, since Dende's not on Earth. Also, too, we find out that Neva, he cannot use that same restore the Dragon Ball technique again. Like, I guess it takes a lot out of him to do that. So it's only like a one-time thing he can do. So it's makes sense, because I know last week I said, like, if this guy can use it again and again and again, well, then this dude's OP as hell. And basically Neva ends up saying, like, yeah, the only way if you want to get your hands on the Dragon Balls again, you got to defeat the freaking Guardians of the Dragon Balls in the Demon Realm to do that. So that's the thing. But essentially, that's when Mr. Popo explains everything. He makes the mention about Degusu. Supreme Kai is shocked by this. He's like, Degusu? He's like, and then he's like, Degusu's my brother and everything. And Goku's like, oh wow, what the heck? Also too, Popo brings up about Neva, and Piccolo, shockingly enough, knows who Neva is. Or Naiba or whatever. Hold on, I gotta make sure I'm getting this whole thing right. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Neva, yeah, Neva. I'm saying that right. And Piccolo knows of him, and apparently he was a legendary Namek, a Namekian that stayed back in the Demon Realm, right? And also too, we also find out from Piccolo later in the episode that the Namekians ended up leaving the Demon Realm because they didn't like to be ruled over people, which one isn't complete character of themselves to do that, because you saw from the Frieza saga, they did not like the tyranny Frieza was making them do. And then even if you are watching or reading the if you watch the movie The Return of Cooler, you could tell the Nameks didn't appreciate Cooler ruling over him. And then even if you read the Dragon Ball Super manga, when Moro invaded Namek, they didn't like being ruled over by Moro either. Now if you're wondering, how does Piccolo know this history? This would make no sense, because Piccolo never even knew that he was Namekian to begin with. Now, I'm chalking it up to the fact, now this could be a potential plot hole, because it does make, it makes no sense, because Kami nor Piccolo knew anything about their origins. But I'll take it like this. One, remember, Piccolo is not only fused with Kami, he's also fused with Nail. So you could say he gained the knowledge of Nail. So maybe Nail knew about the legends and history of all of Namekian teachings and everything. And maybe at some point, the Grand Elder told him about Neva, the Namekian that lived in the Demon Realm. And also too, when Piccolo and Kami first fused back in the Android saga, he literally was called the Nameless Namekian at first, until he's like, Piccolo's just fine. So when they fused, they may have not known about their origins, but them fusing their mind maybe had tapped some sort of long lost Namekian memory that they once had, because they were the Nameless Namekian that didn't know anything. So that also a reason. Now that could be a plot hole, it could not be, but you know, honestly, the fact that he's fused with Nail probably has that knowledge, you know, and that's a thing people forget with. He also fused with Nail, right? So anyways, Supreme Kai, so Popo tells them, like, okay, yeah, they went to the Demon Realm, okay? Now Goku's like, okay, then how do we get there? Now Supreme Kai tells Goku, like, it's hard to get there. There's no easy way to get there. We have to actually take the ship to go do it. So he goes back to the Kai world, or he makes Kibito go back to the world of the Kais, brings back the ship. Now when Supreme Kai is looking it over, he sees that the ship isn't really operational. And when eventually they bring Bulma over, Bulma asks, like, why isn't it operational? And basically he's like, well, the fight between Goku, Vegeta, and Vegeta against Kid Buu on the land of the Kais, it basically makes the ship render useless. So some of the repercussions from that arc is happening. But anyways, Bulma looks over it and she basically says, well, give me some time, I can fix it. And it's funny, through this montage, you just have it to where she's telling Kibito Kai to do all this and this and making her like the fetch boy essentially. And funny enough, at some point Kibito literally gets upset by this. So that's the funny thing. But after a few days pass, they're eating some dinner. That's when we then get introduced to Glorio, and Glorio shows up, and he's basically like, okay, here, I'm like, are you Son Goku, essentially? Because I'm here to pick you up, and everything. And he basically says, like, you know, I was told to come get you so you can help, you know, take down King Goma and help out and stop him from trying to do what he's been doing and everything. Now, Supreme Kai is kind of shocked about Goma, and it's like he knows of Goma. So that's the thing right then and there. Also, too, Supreme Kai makes it to where he tells Let's Goku knows, like, hey, I don't know about this guy. Just be wary. Don't let your guard down around this dude. Which, you know, when I was watching actually Geekdom 101's video, he made a theory like, it's not, well, he doesn't know if it's going to happen, but he did make a theory of like, well, who knows? What if Glorio actually is, you know, turns on Goku and others? It would be a plot twist, but we'll see. I don't think, you know, maybe it's gonna be a thing about trust. Maybe Goku will get, you know, Glorio to trust. He does look like maybe he has his own ulterior motives, because we don't know why he wants to take Goma down or whatever. He was just told by his king or whatever to do it. So who knows, man? Who knows? But we'll see if Glorio ends up becoming antagonist and turning on our heroes, but we'll see. But that's kind of where the episode ends up, because Goku and Supreme Kai goes with Glorio on their ship to the Demon Realm. Vegeta tries to go, but Glorio's just like, sorry, this ship can only fit 3 people. And Vegeta's like, oh, whatever, like, but I'm small now. And the thing is, they make the decision where Supreme Kai's like, well, listen, just wait till Bulma fixes the ship. And Bulma's like, well, after I analyze your ship, I should be able to finish it faster. And eventually we can go to the Demon Realm with you. And in the opening, it shows Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma are gonna also be in the Demon Realm adventuring with Goku, because in the promotional material, it made it seem like it was only gonna be Glorio, Goku, Supreme Kai, and then the new girl, or the one girl we see in the opening with the ponytails, the demon girl, you know, doing this. But obviously the promotional material, which was pretty smart at their point, was not willing to show Vegeta, Bulma, and Piccolo traveling along, which, hey, I'm all for it. It's good. Which makes sense, because if you look at the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero update news, one of the DLCs we're getting for Dragon Ball Daima, it's not only going to come with Glorio being in the DLC pack, it's also going to come with Vegeta Mini, which is what they're going to call it, right? And that will probably also add Piccolo Mini as well. Which, hey, that's cool that they're going to join in, because it's like, it would be depressing if it was just going to be Goku and Supreme Kai alongside these 2 new characters. But the fact that we're going to have Goku, Supreme Kai, Piccolo, Bulma, and Vegeta, it's going to be cool. So, in a weird way, they're learning from their mistakes from Dragon Ball GT in a weird way. Well, Toriyama's making his little, I guess, GT-like spin, where actually, you're going to have to where Piccolo and Vegeta, they're actually involved. Like in GT, Piccolo had like a minor role. His role was sacrificing his life or trading places with Goku to stay in hell, which was such a stupid plot line they made him do in GT. Like, he was nowhere to be seen in the freaking baby arc at all. And then the one time he's in the Android, he appears again in the Super 17 fight, or the Super 17 arc in GT. It's just, okay, we're going to switch places, Goku, and I'm going to help you out. And it's, in a weird way, it's kind of like he is sacrificing his life. And it's like, dog, what? And then Vegeta, he was kind of outside of like the Omega Shenron fight. You You know, outside the Omega Shenron fight where he goes Super Saiyan 4 for the first time, like legitimately, like he does absolutely nothing in the series. And it's nice to see that this time he's going to have some relevant purposes. So that's kind of the thing. That's what's going on in the games. Xenoverse actually going more and talking about Daima. They're going to have a Daima pack where you're going to add Goku Mini in the game as well. I would envision that they're going to add Piccolo Mini, Vegeta Mini, and even Glorio to the game, and any other Daima characters they look to introduce. That's only to add more DLC to Dragon Ball Xenoverse. And then shockingly enough, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is going to get a Daima DLC where you get to basically play some of the story of Daima, which is pretty it's pretty wicked when you think about it. It's pretty cool that all this stuff is basically happening, and you see this happening, and it's like, Dragon Ball is kind of being rejuvenated in a weird way thanks to Daima. Again, like I said, I still want Super to have its anime adaptation to continue on with the Mora arc and the Granola arc, to see that shit animated, so then we can get those damn characters in the games. You see what I'm talking about? The moment Dragon Ball Daima is introduced, they're already introducing the Daima characters into the video games. I want Super to anime to come back, even if it's for 2 seasonal anime runs, 2 arcs, where we only get Moro and Granola. I want those arcs to happen, so then we can get the character renders, and they're put in the dang games for Xenoverse and frickin' Sparking Zero. Jeez Louise, man. I just wish they just put the characters in the frickin' games already. They've been out in the manga for a long time. Put them in the dang thing, but there's that rule where it's like, if it's not animated, we can't upload these characters into the game. So the least we'll see is Daima characters get uploaded to the game. So there's that and everything. So we'll definitely see where the story's gonna go. But hey, listen, I'm here for it. I can't wait to see more Dragon Ball content. And yeah, but till then, guys, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Dragon Ball Daima content. My co-host should be back on the channel next week to talk episode 3 and things like that. But till then, guys, stay safe out there. Hit that subscribe button and have a great rest of your day, and stay safe out there. Till then, guys, peace.